4-0 to Barcelona, 5-2 to Barcelona, 3-2 to Barcelona, and now 4-3 to Barcelona. That is 4 times this season. Barcelona have absolutely dominated us, right? And there's a way to lose a game, there's a way to lose a La Liga, but this is not it. We've had our struggles this year with our defense and everything, but I still think we could have done a better job with the games against Barcelona and the season as a whole. Because this was just, man, I wasn't seeing the effort. I wasn't seeing the intensity from the players. I wasn't seeing the changes from Ancelotti. I don't want to speak too much about Ancelotti today because it's only like a matter of time until like everything is finalized and signed, and then he's gonna step down, and then Alonso is coming in. So I think it's gonna be like my prediction was that okay, if we lose this game, La Liga's finished. There's no joke about that. La Liga's finished. If we lose this game, then really by tomorrow, they're gonna make some big announcements, because like fans are gonna be irate, are not gonna be happy with the performance and the season as a whole. So this is a perfect time to now announce Alonso, new manager for Real Madrid. Starting with the Club World Cup. Either the Club World Cup or next. It will be the Club World Cup. And then Trent coming in. I have my own feelings and reservations about Trent, defensively, because this season defensively we've been absolute shambles, and I don't necessarily think Trent is gonna solve that, but that's gonna come from now Alonso finding the best way to play with this team, right? So I think there's I think now this game, like, it showed you that defensively we really have a lot to do in this summer. So I think from what I've seen this so far, we need 2 left backs. We need Trent coming in, and then we need 2 center backs, because we're gonna get Militao back next season. So hopefully, man, he recovers and he can go back to being the best, or if not like one of the best defenders in the world. He did it at the beginning of this season. He was coming back. So hopefully next season he can pull out some miracle out of his hat and come back and start leading that defense for the future for Alonso. So and then we need to find a partner for him. Asensio, so amazing, man. Like, where would we have been this season if it wasn't for Asensio stepping up and playing his part, right? So I think for next season, we need like two top central defenders to come in to the first 11. To the first 11 coming in, because man, Rudiger, nah, man. I'm not relying. We can't rely on Rudiger. It's fine if he's like on the subs bench and he comes in and he helps us out here and there, but we can't rely on Rudiger. So we need 2 central defenders, and then now those 2 central defenders are going to be now going up against Militao when he's coming back, Asensio, and then now as well I guess Rudiger as long as he's there. But maybe next season can be Rudiger's last season as well, So then we need 2 left backs. 2 left backs, man. I'm telling you, because Fran Garcia, I'm not really on Fran Garcia's case that much as other people are, but man, like these last two games against Barcelona really showed, like, okay, defensively, like when he goes up against top defenders, attackers like Lamine Yamal, he's just not up for it. He's not a good enough defender. He doesn't read the game. He doesn't have the confidence. So that makes you not good enough for Madrid. So he needs to go. Mendy, I was one of Mendy's biggest fans when he came in and took the spot from the legendary Marcelo. But it was 3 seasons of top class like Mendy, unbeatable, But then now the last 2 seasons, he hasn't been up to scratch, and that's because of injuries. He had like some illnesses, so unfortunately, he didn't want to have those things, right? But unfortunately, he's not the same player as he was, right? So I think 2 left backs, and then Trent coming in, and then Carvajal coming in. I don't think if Carvajal once again comes and he starts performing like he was when he left us, then yeah, that right back position, Trent has competition. You know, he's not going to be a first choice until like he proves it for Madrid and he cleans up his defense, because we all know Trent defensively is a liability. You know, like if you recall, like Marcelo, right? Marcelo was a liability, but he was not that much, not as much as Trent. You know, Marcelo wasn't the best defender, but he was an okay defender. You know, and then going up front, like besides Cristiano Ronaldo, I always viewed him as the player who could change the game. You know, when we had that amazing team. Dribbling past players, opening up play. So that's what Marcelo was good at. Trent going forward, we all know his quality. And like he's going to be able to feed in Vini, Mbappe, Bellingham when he's making his runs. So Trent will be able to do that, no doubt whatsoever. And that right side, like I think is going to be lethal if we get the right mix, because now you have actually Valverde and Trent with those lethal right foots. So I think that's going to be quite interesting, the interplay between those two players. But now, we're gonna find a way. We need to find a way to cover Trent, you know, for his defensive failures, shortcomings, and that's where Valverde and the team's gonna come into play. But if we just go back to, let's focus on the game, you know, how it went off, and man, I don't know what happened in the first 15 minutes. Somehow we're 2 goals up. And I was like, wow, you know, you get like that urge, like, oh man, Madrid are doing good, you know, they're playing well. But I knew from the start, man, you could see how Barcelona started the game. They were like, I don't know, jet lagged. They were fatigued. They were a little bit somber, a little bit shy because of going out of the Champions League against Inter. So they were pedestrian. Like they didn't start intense, you know, pressing Madrid, because that's what they did in the Copa del Rey. And they had lots of fun. You know, they were pressing Madrid and Madrid were losing the ball easily. Madrid had the ball the first within the first 15 minutes, right? They had the ball and everything. And Barcelona weren't pressing. And I was like, why aren't you pressing? If you press this team, you get the ball and then you're gonna be shooting on goal and potentially get your goal, right? But somehow we ended up 2-0 up. Mbappe, well done. Winning the penalty. And then scoring the penalty. The penalty wasn't the best, you know. Like if it was another goalkeeper, you know, if it was like a top quality goalkeeper who's good at saving penalties, man, would have saved that, because it was quite close. But the ball went into the back of the net, right? And then we had the second goal. Mbappe again showing up. By the end of the game he got a hat-trick and somehow he's still on the losing team. But this does happen quite a lot, actually. Mbappe does score like 2-3. This was even before Madrid. He scores like 2-3 goals, but he still ends up on the losing team. So we'll be discussing that a little bit in a bit. That's the next topic. So 2-0 up, and I'm like, okay, Madrid, somehow you're 2-0 up. Now, I don't know, start getting compact, you know, start like controlling the game, you know, like starts just getting a hold of the game. Don't let Barcelona come in. And the interesting thing is that like our tactics in those first 15 minutes somehow worked. Madrid were 2-0 up, but the tactics were literally just hoof the ball up front for the big center forward. Oh wait, we don't have a big center forward. We have Vini, Mbappe. Like they're not gonna win any aerial duels. Like it was literally like hoof the ball up front and then hope for the second ball, because Madrid don't win aerial duels. They just don't, right? Bellingham was up there, but if it's going to Bellingham, he's probably the furthest one forward, and there's no one running in behind him, right? So I honestly didn't know what the strategies were like in the whole game and in these 15 minutes, right? And then you have Valverde taking the goal kicks, just like hoofing it up. But then eventually Barcelona, they woke up, because I don't know why, like the last like month or so, Barcelona need to be like 2 goals down to eventually start playing. It was getting a bit too easy for them, you know, in La Liga. So they're like, okay, let's make this a little more challenging for ourselves. We'll go 2-0 down, and then we'll actually start playing. They did that against Inter twice. First time they came back. Second time, just didn't cut it. So Yeah, so the Barcelona team, yeah, well done, man. Like they got La Liga, they're playing amazing. They're playing like a team. All their players are performing. You know, all these kids coming up and are playing as like top class professionals, right? So well done to them. And then yeah, they score from a corner, Eric Garcia. So yeah, as you can see from a corner, it's happened. It's happened quite a bit this season. I think it's 8 times. I think yeah, 8 times in La Liga. Yeah, so it could be 8 times in La Liga that's happened. So that's quite a lot. But in fairness, we're just conceding goals from everywhere. Goal kick, open play, it doesn't matter. We're just conceding goals. And then second goal, the second goal, I think highlights like what's part of the problem with this Real Madrid team at the current moment. Whether it was De Jong or if it was Pedri, like they're on the ball. Let's say in the middle of the pitch, right? In the middle of the pitch, they have the space to literally just walk forward, you know, and they don't get any challenges from any player in the first half. Okay, especially the first half. This happened again in the Copa del Rey as well. Like they literally can just walk into midfield without getting a challenge because I don't know where my midfield is, where my midfield is, where our midfield is. I have no idea where they are. Bellingham is not there. Bellingham most of the time he was like the closest one to Pedri, but he's like 2, 3, 4 meters away from Pedri. You're giving Pedri all this space, right? Valverde was tasked with keeping Dani Olmo quiet, and he did that in the first half. Yeah, he did that well in the beginning of the first half, right? But then was struggling later on. But he was like tight on Dani Olmo, right? So there's a tactic from Ancelotti, and it worked to some degree. And then you had Ceballos, man. I can't be too. Can I be too harsh on Ceballos? I mean, what do you want me to say? He's not good enough for Madrid. You know, he performed well, you know, before his injury this season. And yeah, it's just unfortunate that he got that injury and then now he came back and then, yeah, he's now kind of finding his form, right? When a player comes back from injury, always needs to get match fit. And yeah, we're at the end of the season, right? So yeah, he's not match fit. And then now he's not Madrid caliber. He's not like that top midfielder, you know, that we thought he was going to be. So he's just not good enough, you know. He has some good performances this season. But he's just not good enough. And there's a few players that have had to play a lot of minutes this season, and unfortunately, they're just not good enough, right? So Ceballos needs to go. Yes, he's done amazing, but bring in some new energy. Bring in someone from the academy. I don't know. Bring in Nico Paz, even though he's a different profile. Bring in somebody, because when you have these players who are a lot older. Close to the end of their careers, they're now stopping the opportunity for actually young players coming in, right? So Ceballos needs to go. Modric, just keep him. You know, I mean, like Madrid have been poor this season. Modric is like what, 40 years old, man, and sometimes he's the best player on the pitch. So I think just keep Modric for the time being until we sort out that midfield, and that midfield is not going to get sorted out. This season in terms of like new people coming in, probably the season after, right? So keep Modric for another season. You know, he's still hungry. He's still can offer something, right? In those tough moments, and then. Yeah, I said Fran Garcia needs to go. Mendy needs to go. Vasquez needs to go. Rudiger, ideally, if we can find some replacement, needs to go. We need a whole new back line, right? So in midfield, man, I know Barcelona are very good. With their 1-2 passing, with their little bursts of like of play, you know, getting past the player, and like they're cute, man. Barcelona are cute, you know. They know how to do like 1 or 2, 3 passes to find space. That's the one of the most important things, like when it comes to a football game. find space if there's no space created. And how do you do that? You do that by manipulating the ball. You do that by manipulating your position. You know, like what Lamine Yamal does excellently. I mean, he can have like 2-3 defenders on him, but he will manipulate his body and the ball in a particular way to where he creates that angle and he's able to do a crazy pass, man. Like there was a pass he did for Rafinha, like on the outside of his foot. He is running like at an angled position. He's not running forward, right? He's running at an angled position, or like strolling, let's say. And then he does like an outside of the foot, right on Rafinha's head. How Rafinha doesn't score that goal to make it, I think would have been like, when was that? That would have been like 4-2? Or would it have been like 5? Yeah, I think it would have been, anyway. So like, Lamine Yamal, yeah, I've seen him now a few times this season, and man, what a player. But people, please don't get too hasty. I mean, like, he's still young. Please stop comparing him to the legendary, the GOAT, Lionel Messi. Stop it. You know, Barcelona have ruined quite a few players by giving them that title, right? The most recent one, Ansu Fati, right? So just let him develop. Like, he's a top player. He's an amazing player, and he's performing well. And now just gotta keep his head level-headed, you know, for the future. So yeah, like so yeah, it was 2-0, and then yeah, Eric Garcia scores, Lamine Yamal scores an amazing goal, which comes from him just being able to read the game. I think that's the biggest trait he has. And in comparison to, like, let's say Vini, man, this season, I'm always on Vinny's case because he's my favorite player. He's my favorite player. So when he's had a season like this season, oh my days, man, it's terrible, absolutely terrible, man. I'm like, Vinny, bro, like, dude, like, change your game up. Stop doing the same thing over and over again. Like, stop running into Mbappe's space. Leave him be, man. Like, he got into Mbappe's space twice, I think, this game, man. Twice this game. You know, that goal we scored, the third goal, once again, he was in Mbappe's space. So that actually goal could have happened, but just in a different way, right? So it worked out this time, but before that it didn't work out, and most likely, like, it's not going to work out, right? So what I mean is that, like, the outcome, it's not always about, like, scoring the goal. It's about how you score the goal, you know? As I say that, I'm thinking about Pep Guardiola, right? Like always, like, okay, how do you actually create chances? Like, that's the biggest thing, because you can score goals by fluke, you can score goals in all different ways, but you actually need to build a system of, like, how you can actually create more chances. The more clear-cut chances you can create, the more goals you score, right? So that's the most important thing. And Madrid have not been developing that this season, right? They haven't. So then, who ended up? Rafinha. Yeah, Rafinha ends up scoring the third goal. It's a little bit hazy in my mind, and then ends up scoring the fourth goal. Yeah, the third goal. The third goal, man. Like it's 2-2. The game is still in the balance. This game is still in the balance, but Madrid are like, let's just give them another goal. Mbappe and Ceballos. I think it was Ceballos' fault. It was Ceballos' issue getting into Mbappe's space. And then now Mbappe loses the ball because of Ceballos, and then our players are like, they're all like going forward, right? They're all like, okay, let's get that goal. And then now we lose the ball, and the space is there in the right side of our defense, and then they end up scoring that goal. Fourth goal, it was Vasquez, right? Vasquez makes a mistake, and then Rafinha ends up scoring the goal. So once again, players who are not good enough for this team, because for you to play in these matches, for you to play for the best team in the world, man, it is a lot of pressure. And I think Vasquez, man, once again, I'm a big fan of Vasquez. He's done the job for us. I think this season is just, yeah, it just hasn't worked, you know, like, yeah, he's older, you know. I think this is the season where, like, yeah, like he should now know that, okay, it's time for me to step down. I'm not good enough to play for Madrid anymore. His contract's finished anyway. It's not going to be renewed. I don't believe. But yeah, I think this season really showed that, okay, yeah, he's past his best now, right? And hey, Vasquez, like over the last few years, when he was reverted to a right back, has done the job for Madrid. So big ups for that, because once again, he's not a right back. But the last this season, so I think it's 3 seasons in total, he's played as a right back. And there were times we played against Barcelona and he was dominating at right back. You couldn't get past Vasquez, man, like back in the days. So he's done his job, man. Like, and I have to give him respect for that. And then now it's up to Madrid to now find better players for that position, right? So yeah, case in point, man. Hey, if we think about it, like, okay, yeah, is Trent any better defensively than Vasquez? You know, like, this is a serious question now. Like, this is my reservations about Trent. Like, is he a better defender than Vasquez? You know, Vasquez is a converted right back in his later years, and he can do a job. You know, just not this season, but he can do a job. And yeah, man, Trent, man. Like, oh, we go into the half and we are 2 goals down, and after being 2-0 up. So yeah. Anyway, that's Madrid this season. And Ancelotti, he made 2 changes. So he brought on Modric and he brought on Brahim, and took off Arda Güler and he took off Ceballos. Arda Güler, like, yeah, he wasn't on the ball a lot, but it was just, I think it was just the tactics, man. He couldn't get on the ball. So I think, yeah, anyway, he brought on Brahim, and Brahim could do a similar job like Arda Güler. So, and when Brahim did come on, he did play better than Güler was playing. So he understood a little bit more what he needs to do. But Madrid came out with more intensity. Like, honestly, I honestly don't understand, like, why teams, like, why teams in these big games, you don't even come out with intensity all the time. You know, like, how do you come out to a game like this with no intensity like they did in the first half? The second half, we're 2 goals down, 4-2 on the scoreline, and then now you want to play. Now you want to be intense. Now we're actually battling and actually winning the ball, right? So they were actually a little more aggressive, and they were playing well, right? They were on the front foot as opposed to being so passive and waiting. You're waiting for Barcelona to do something, right? And Barcelona, even, for example, when Madrid had that intensity, Barcelona still had like 2 chances where they could have scored, and they missed, right? So it could have actually been like already like 5-2 within the first like 5 minutes of the game, because Barcelona actually had the better chances in those first, like, what, 5 to 15 minutes, right? But yeah, like, just, yeah, Madrid huffed and puffed. But once again, Barcelona have been able to just manage the game. Like, well, actually, no, maybe not manage the game, but being able to control midfield better than Madrid do. And yeah, man, I asked this question too often this season. I'm like, where is my midfield? Where is our midfield? Where is Bellingham? Like, what is he doing? Like, what position is he playing? I don't understand at all. Like he's not in a position where, like, first off, we're not even doing through balls or enough. You know, we could have used it a lot more. Like, yeah, first half, okay, we're using it, but we could have used those through balls over the top a little bit more than we did. There was definitely chances, but he's not making runs, you know, past the defense. He's not being found, you know. So why isn't he, like, dropping back a little bit just for him to get on the ball? Because let's say our back line have the ball close to Courtois, close to Courtois. And, like, I'm like, okay, where's the midfield? Where's Valverde? Where's Bellingham? Where's Ceballos? Where's Modric? Whoever is in midfield. Why aren't they dropping back a little bit more to actually get the ball and to create options for the people in defense, right? You have Vasquez, you have Fran Garcia. They're on the ball, but there's no options. You know, Vinny, man, Vinny once again, like, to see 2 players, you know, when Madrid are defending, to be just walking, like, it's just, you can't explain that. You just can't. Like, it is so disheartening. Like, seeing 2 players, Mbappe and Vinny, just walking on the pitch. You know, actually, I was thinking to myself, so, like, Inter Milan, they keep 2 strikers up front, alert and active, you know, ready for the counter-attack and everything. And, like, for me, it will be fine if we were good at counterattacking, but we're not good at counterattacking. When we do win the ball, you know, we pass it to Vinny, we pass it to Mbappe. They don't keep the ball. Vinny loses the ball so often, man. He's lost the ball so often this season. because he's just doing one thing and not changing up a little bit. Sometimes hold the ball, wait for people to come up. Sometimes try to get through a player. Sometimes do the quick pass to Mbappe. You know, he needs to change things up a little bit. Those doing the same thing, head down and then running forward, the same run over and over again, and defenders can read it so easily. So I'm like, okay, if you're not going to defend, then be very lethal in counterattacking. Be very, very effective, but you're not doing that, right? So I'm in this game. I was like, you know what? Just keep Mbappe and Vinny all the way up front. You know, all the way up front. At least now Barcelona have some questions. Okay, how many people are we have some questions to answer? How many people are we going to commit forward? Because we have Vinny and Mbappe right here in the middle of the park, in one through ball, and then they could be through, right? Instead of having like Vinny coming back and then helping Frank Garcia when he's not doing anything. He's walking, man. He's walking. So he's actually a liability even having him in the back. So that needs to change. There's no way we're gonna win La Liga next season, win the Champions League next season with two players who are just strolling on the pitch. And then if Vinny plays like he played this season, no, there's no way. So there's no way. So yeah, I think some things need to change. Mbappe scores the third goal. You know, like I said before, it was coming from a play where Vinny was in Mbappe's space. He took the ball when that ball could have been from Mbappe. And then eventually, this time it worked out. But he was in Mbappe's space, right? No chemistry whatsoever with these two so far. So at the beginning of the season, I never wanted Mbappe to come to Madrid. I said it a million times. I never wanted Mbappe to come to Madrid. I thought it wasn't gonna work. Why you have Vinny on the left? Why are we getting Mbappe? Like, what we needed was Kane. We needed Kane. That's what we needed, right? Or we needed Haaland. We needed a striker, right? Like when Benzema left, there was noise about Kane coming to Madrid, and I was like, you know what? It's not Madrid's forte, but they were going for him. But I was like, it's not Madrid's thing, like to get players who are like what? He was 30 or 29, something like that. Whatever. He was a lot older, and Madrid don't necessarily go for like those players with those in that age, right? But I was like, you know what? Kane would be absolutely perfect. You know why? Because he's one of the players who is closest to Benzema. You know, the great Benzema. He is one of the players who can read the game, knows when to drop, collect the ball, knows when to go into the box, can be a threat. He would have been amazing, right? That's what we needed, not Mbappe. But anyway, we have Mbappe now, right? We have three players who are pretty much the exact same player, Vinny, Mbappe, and Rodrigo. And so the interesting thing is that Madrid scored in La Liga scored more goals and conceded less goals than they have already this season, right? With still 3 games to play, I believe, right? So even with Mbappe coming in and scoring 35 plus, in the La Liga, he has like, what is it, 24, something like that, 24 goals, right? Even though he's coming, he scored crazy amounts of goal. The rest of the team has not been scoring goal, right? So it's this Mbappe effect that is now terrorizing our team, right? So last season we scored more goals. Last season we scored 85 goals. This season so far we have scored 69 goals. Last season our defense was we conceded 25 goals in La Liga, and this so far this season we have conceded 32 goals. So our defense is worse and our attack is worse with Mbappe coming in. It's not just all Mbappe, but what I'm trying to point out is that, like, as a team, we have diminished. Yes, we've had our injuries, but we also had injuries last season as well, right? PSG, this season, have scored more goals than they did last season with who? Mbappe on their team, right? Last season, PSG scored 78 goals. This season, they scored 86 goals, right? So this is like the thing where, like, yes, you can get a player and they can score 30 goals a season, you know, but if it doesn't gel well with the team, it doesn't gel well with the team. It happened with Ronaldo when he went back to Man United the first season, right, from Juventus. and he scored 18 goals, but Man United dropped as a team. They got worse, you know. So this is partly to do this is part of the issue right now in Madrid. You know, no chemistry between our whole team and that forward line. Bellingham, Mbappe, Vinny, no chemistry whatsoever, right? So that needs to change massively. But that's a project for not this summer, but next summer, right? This summer, fix the defense, fix the defense, and yeah, man, we need to fix the defense soon. So I'm expecting Alonso to get announced pretty much like now or by the end of tomorrow. You know, I don't know. There's no need to hold it in any longer. I'm expecting that to get announced. When that gets announced and is finalized, let's start working on fixing that defense. We need two central defenders. You know, it doesn't. Ancelotti, Alonso can come in and do a good job. But man, if our defense is Rudiger, you know, Asensio, amazing, but he's still learning his trade and he needs competition to get better, right? So if that's our, and then Trent in right back, and then what? Who? Fran Garcia left back, man, or Mendy left back when he does play? No. So we need a whole new defense to help Alonso for next season, right? So you bring in a new defense, you give Alonso the time, and then he starts to build a system. And the following season, we now start to refine that midfield and refine that forward line. But yeah, this season has just been embarrassing, like absolutely embarrassing. There's a way to lose. You don't lose like this. Losing 4-0 to Barcelona. Been getting conceded, them scoring so many goals, like them just walking through midfield. Lamine Yamal having the time of his life, Pedri having the time of his life. De Jong had a really good game, by the way, with this game. I'm really impressed with him. But yeah, I think as good as Barcelona have been this season, I think Madrid have also, the games we play against them, they've also made it so easy for them. I mean, if you're not intense in midfield, like, then yeah, what do you really expect? So, but yeah, congrats to Barca. You know, we can't be sore losers. You know, we gotta learn from this, and then next season we come back bigger and stronger. You know, we're gonna get some of our big dogs back. So Carvajal, Militao, and then a new back line coming in. So we'll see how that goes. All right, guys. See you on the next review.